Welcome to the show, everyone. Rain, sleet, or snow, this show goes on. And I just love my show because it's got great information for everybody out there. We're live on Facebook, so I do want to say hello to everybody out there. My first guest has now been on with me, I would say almost a year now that you've been coming on this show. I have with me August Heiss, and he is the owner of ADH Electric and Solar. Welcome to the show. I want you to tell everybody first a little bit about yourself and then what we're going to talk about today. And you have a special guest with you today.
I do, yes. I am August, and a little bit myself. It's hard to see where to start with. But I've always been involved in recycling, energy efficiency, and that's kind of what led me into working in the industry on the solar side. Obviously, we're electrical contractors, commercial and residential. However, we focus on energy efficiency, and there's a lot of ways to work with that. And the last step to efficiency would possibly be solar, if that's an interest for you. And I have with me today, actually, Roy. He's been on the show before.
Yes, I have.
A couple of times now.
Yep.
Yeah, him and I have known each other probably, I'm going to guess, we were just talking about that since either 2018, end of 18 to 19. We first met, and Roy was throwing rocks at me on the roof, but that's a different story and a whole nother program that we'd have to get into.
Absolutely.
That's a nighttime show.
But yeah, and we've been working together now, looking to create customer-friendly relationships, service-focused, and quality value that we bring to our customers and consumers.
Now, today what we're going to do, we've got rains outside right now. It's raining, and we have monsoon season is here as we speak. And you wanted to kind of talk a little bit about things that people need to think about with especially their panels, their solar panels, when we've had monsoons.
Especially with the amount of wind that we've had. I'm sure we can all recall here the last few days, I myself thought my roof was going to blow off with how hard the wind was blowing. So that being said, number one thing that we like to do is we advise a service or a maintenance to where your panels get taken looked at by whether it's us or another company. Reason being is things tend to rattle loose, vibrate, shift, and in that case it almost becomes a danger or something to where it could lead to a more expensive repair later down the road. So right now we are running a half off special. We typically charge $185 for a service call to come out and perform a complete check over of the system. Given the weather and the conditions which are going on now, we are offering it for $95.
That's awesome. So what they would do is they can call you and call now. Because, you know, when everybody's hearing just a great price on this, that they're going to call, and you want to make sure that you can get in there, because right now it's just the beginning. We're going to have more winds. We're going to have more rain. You want to make sure that everything is up to snuff.
That is correct. As we can look forward, we have more weather coming, so other things that potentially could be at risk are roof leaks. If previous installers or the age of the system being on the roof may basically deteriorate the existing roof and lead to future potential leaks. Those are things that we could look for and basically spot before it turns into an entire roof repair, which can get extremely costly.
They're offering, it's a special that they're offering for, instead of it being $185, it's $95. That's half off. You can call them at 623-688-0663. They're statewide, and they are rated with the Better Business Bureau. Their website is adhsolar.com. They're both residential and commercial, licensed, bonded, and insured. So worth it for them because of what about the leakage? Right now, a lot of people are probably, dealing with that as we speak.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, as Roy was saying, is the key is service. You get your car serviced, hopefully you get your health serviced on a regular basis. These are all important factors. If the system has been installed properly with view on concern and quality, usually there is not an issue. However, because there's human factors involved, that can affect, especially the crazy winds we have here when that haboob comes blowing through here. Trees have been downed over the last couple of days that I know in the neighborhood. So these are all things, again, it's a service plan. And the same thing goes into it, not just on your solar system, but even your existing main panel that you have on the side of your house. The older panels have aluminum wires running through there. Those loosen up with the heat and the cooling down of electricity flowing through there. Again, this is service that is a focus for preventive maintenance.
Have your system serviced. It's a $95 value, and the number to call again is 623-688-0663, statewide, rated with the Better Business Bureau. Why is it so important that people make sure that they're using someone like you who is licensed, bonded, and insured?
I would say the biggest reason is number one, construction. When it happens, there are accidents and issues that arise. Typically what I've seen is people that are not licensed, bonded, or insured have nothing that stands behind them to hold them to make things right. So we recently just got a job where a lady hired a handyman to remove some solar for the roof to get repaired. And that turned into her finally getting our contact information 3 years later that her solar was off her roof. So I would say, just for a peace of mind and to ensure that you're getting what you're paying for, making sure your contractor is licensed and bonded and insured is a big thing to do.
Now, you're talking a lot about wind and rain.
Correct.
But one of the things that we mentioned before we came on today was birds. Right? You know, listen, a bird could go in there and start pecking away and make some damage too.
Absolutely. So that is actually something we see pretty common without the current weather that we experience now. So birds here in Arizona get hot like we do, right? So unfortunately, they look for a cooler area to nest or hide under. And typically on the roof that has solar, those panels provide the little bit of shade that they're looking for.
Absolutely. You should have your systems serviced. Their number to call is 623-688-0663. They are statewide. They're rated with the Better Business Bureau. When you go up there, when you come in, you like do a little it's all done at one time, right?
Right.
So you go up there, you're going to have it checked out. And as far as I'm concerned, you really ought to have your side panels, your electric panels, being taken care of as well. Like I said, I know for me, when I try and close it and it's a hassle, I walk away from it. Okay?
Right.
How many
That is
people
something
do that?
very, very common
I'm
we
at
run
least honest
into.
about it.
Yeah.
Okay?
So normally we can tell when we open the panel if it was closed after it being left open. All the labeling is
Don't
sun
come to my
faded.
house.
And you know, you go to turn off a breaker and it takes a second, but we get it handled too.
Yeah. So
You gotta
yeah.
have it handled.
And when we do, like you said, we don't just look at the panels on the roof. We look at the wiring, we look at the boxes that are attached to the system, the disconnects, everything gets checked to verify that it is 100% operational and there's no issues.
They're rated with the Better Business Bureau. They're offering for everybody a half-off special. It's a $95 value to you because it's normally $185. That's pretty awesome that you're offering this. And a lot of people right now, it is raining somewhere, it's windy somewhere out there. We're going to have more. Have your systems serviced. They're statewide and they're both residential and commercial, and they're licensed, bonded, and insured. We're going to go to a break. When we come back, we're going to talk further. You know, we've been sort of making fun about Solar 101, Electric 101. It is important for people to understand when you get those panels, you don't just put them up there and forget about it. So make sure you have them serviced. Again, that number to call them is 623-688-0663. Hang tight. We're going to be back in just a minute.
Good job.
I think we did good.
Yeah.
What's that?
No, it's good. It was good. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so we're still live on the air.
Yes.
Not on the air, but we're
Facebook.
on Facebook right
Yeah.
now. So how many times when you go up there, what is it that you see? What is it? How many times do you see that a lot of things are loose and they're practically falling off the?
I would say
roof?
out of 10 jobs we do, 9 of them have at least one thing wrong.
Yeah, there's different things. it can be wires hanging that are dragging and getting worn out, that'll cause a short. Or it can be that when we're pulling, because we do R&R work, which is a removal and reinstall when the roof's getting redone. So we know and we see these things, and some of it could be, you're supposed to land the lags and the trusses, and they're not even done with that, and then possibly a hole was missed that was drilled, and then that'll cause a leak also. We've had calls out to that. So there's a varied of things. And talking about the birds that you talked about earlier, I mean, sometimes we'll be pulling panels off when to clean and there's nests, there's eggs, there's actually baby pigeons in there too. However, we can't do anything with them, but they can damage, especially their waste. Their waste is very
it eats
acidic.
The wires,
Yeah.
like their feces
Yeah.
eat the wires, and I've actually seen one where it melted half a system,
Yeah.
and they were upwards of a $10,000 repair to try to get the panels
Wow.
replaced. So,
That's terrible.
and it all starts
Because you
from
can't
the birds.
help them going in there. It's like you can't.
Well,
Right.
How do you know?
we do put bird stuff up there.
So
Oh,
we have
okay.
we have netting that we
Yeah.
put on to
Oh,
keep
okay.
them
That's
out.
something to talk about.
Yeah,
So-
that's easy to do, to add on. And it's funny, is because you can have 10 houses in a row, they all have solar, and they're gonna concentrate on one house.
Yeah, and it'll be like in the same street. You'll have one house they choose, and all your neighbors won't get messed. It's
Yeah,
weird.
yeah, it's very selective. So we do put in bird stop, but it's always on a recommendation. Let's see. Some people have it already, so we replace it when we do the R&R work. But literally, not every house needs it. So it's like, let's wait and see. If they do show up, then let's close it off. But
Yeah.
otherwise, it's I don't know how they figure that stuff out, but it's very selective.
That's weird.
It's like you're gonna be dropped on.
Yeah, you just don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's the way. I mean, it can't be the way that you live because I mean.
No,
it's
it has
just
nothing to
not
do with that.
Nothing.
It's
just
the roof.
Luck of the
They
draw.
choose the roof. They say, this is a nice roof for me. And I'm like,
Wow.
Yeah, and once one comes, they pretty much migrate in.
And when we come back, I would like to go over the remove and reinstall.
10 seconds.
Okay.
I might start with that, and I might start with something else.
Yeah.
Hold on
No,
tight
that's
with me.
fine. Yeah.
So welcome back. We are talking about Solar 101 right now, just because it is monsoon season. We're having monsoons today, and let me tell you something. Winds, rain, and lots of other things that fly could be making a problem with your panels up there. You need to have them serviced. So they're offering right now half off of a special that's normally $185. They're offering for $95. And it is important for you to probably have those systems checked. That's why they're offering such a great deal for everybody. One of the things that we wanted to talk about was rates have changed, so your needs have changed. They are going up, they keep on going up, and they're gonna keep on going up. It's out of our control.
Right. So what we see is that, and a lot of people don't understand that, they have solar or have gotten solar, and if the system was designed properly, it was designed for their needs at that time when it was first installed. So, and that was also with the rates in the past, which were a lot cheaper than they are now. Rates have gone up, maybe their situation has changed in their own home, people living there, maybe parents moving in, maybe a casita being built. So all of these things are gonna affect the way the system offsets the AC, the electric usage. And so with that, you're gonna see a rise in your costs. I've seen people that say all of a sudden their bills are up to $200 and $300 now, it used to be 20. And so with that, we can come in and take a look and see what is needed to add. We can add to existing systems to help offset that additional cost that they are now incurring. The earlier heat wave that started this summer as well, we had some high temperatures very early on, which is not usual. And that also affects your production because it changes based on past weather conditions. There's so many factors that go into it. But the bottom line is we can add to existing systems to help continue offset and make it profitable for the consumer and not the utility.
So when you remove them and reinstall or add on to all of this, okay? Okay, I'll get it out. So you gonna remove them, but you have to, and then you're just gonna add on to more? Or how do you figure out how much more they need? How do you do that?
So that's typically done, so basically to figure out how to figure out what your new needed solar system size is off of your current usage, we basically request your APS, SRP, or what other power company that you're dealing with login information. And what we do is we go and look at your usage for the last year. I promise we won't pay for your bill. And then, once we do a little bit of math and numbers there, we basically can give you a good, better, and best option. And what I mean by that is to bring your usage, or the solar system to cover your usage at 80%, 100%, and up to 125% over your usage, depending on your power company and what is allowed in certain areas. So at the end of the day, it's a basic math equation that we figure out. So there's no guesswork in it. We hear a lot in solar like, hey, I got these panels and they promised me the world, and I still have a $200 electric bill, but I have a $150 solar payment. Why do I have this? And unfortunately, with solar, it can get a little dishonest in certain areas where some companies maybe don't do the actual math. They chase more just the panel count in the cell. And solar is not a one-size-fits-all kind of thing here, so.
So a lot of people I do know that have gotten panels, and unfortunately, they're not getting the prices that they're looking for from their bills, and they're bummed out about it. And when someone's bummed out about something like that, what do you think they do?
Spread
They
the word.
Tell everyone.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
That is correct.
Yeah, it's like one good deed doesn't get talked about, or 10 good deeds don't get talked about, but one bad deed is spread like wildfire.
Exactly.
And the thing I wanted to touch on is when you talked about the removal and reinstalls, is kind of the earlier gist what we were talking about is servicing your panels. The reason is because we also do work with a lot of roofing companies to do R&R, which means removal and reattach, or DNRs, detach and reinstall, for a new roof. Somebody that has an issue or needs a roof, it's that time, have solar on there, we come in, take it down, put it back better than it was, and then from that is where we have seen so many issues with different installs that leads us to this service call requirement, especially now with the monsoon season that we tapped into again.
Their phone number is 623-688-0663. They're offering a system service that is going to be half off. So it's $185 normally, it is $95 for you. That is an awesome price, and it's awesome that you're offering for this, because you know what, folks, if you've got solar, you better have it serviced. That number again to call is 623-688-0663. It's ADHsolar.com. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say is that we talked about the licensed, bonded, insured, how important that is. It is, because we even have people just in the R&R, DNR business that offer some very low pricing, but they're not bonded, licensed, and insured. And if you are not, you can void and will void the warranty of the existing system.
Right.
So that is a case that is definitely you want to look at. And the thing too is with us, we have experience.
I was just going to say it. I'm so glad you did.
We've been doing this a while. I myself personally, I've been doing this 17 plus years in a few different states, in Arizona since 2011. Him and I, as we talked about, we met up about 2019. He's been doing it for that long as well. So between us, we probably have at least almost 30 years of experience, specifically in electric, energy savings, and solar is a big part of that as well.
Helping people save money on a bill that they're already paying way too much for. I think that's what you're trying to do, is just really help people as much as you can. And that's what this, being able to talk about it here is an awesome platform to do that. And folks, let me tell you something, folks. It could be you, it could be someone that you know, it could be your neighbor. tell them about this. This is a special that they're offering right now that is half off. Normally $185, it's $95 for a service systems check, and you should really have it taken care of, because right now, especially with the winds, especially with all of this, have them check it now, because if you don't tighten it up, what's going to happen? It could fly off.
It can fly off, create an electric short, creating fire. Maybe your inverter gets waterlogged. That's another replacement. There's a lot of different factors that would go into hindering your money-making solar system.
Well, at money making, what will you usually say on that?
I usually say it doesn't make sense, it makes dollars.
Yeah, and
That's a good choice.
It is. And here also, folks, what's also important, and I wanted to say this before you brought it up, because if you have somebody that you just call and they're going to go and work on your solar panels and they're not licensed or insured, bonded at all, you can look at trouble, because if your warranty gets messed up, now you're really, I'm not going to say it.
Just for an example, an inverter, your average inverter is covered under your warranty. If that warranty gets dropped and the inverter fails, it's an electronic. Typically, it happens. Just cost on inverter without labor, you're about $4,000, depending on a few factors. So
No.
it's a bit of a shell shock when stuff like that happens.
Now, we've been talking for everybody that has solar already, right? Because of the monsoons. But there's a lot of people right now, just because it happens to be very hot out, their air conditionings are running 24/7, and their bills are sky high to the roof. What do you suggest?
Going solar.
Right.
So
Oh,
give
really?
us a call and we can see what your current situation is. As I spoke earlier, we do the actual math equation to formulate a system depending on what your goals are and what your needs are. Very affordable. Please reach out.
And you can step into that part-time or partially or in steps, because we also do energy efficiency.
That's what I
So
was
if you
gonna
got
say.
an electric water heater, if you don't have a timer on that, why are you heating water when you're sleeping or you're not home? We have power conditioners we install that work in saving you money. There's so many other savings that go in hand with solar. The more efficient you are in your business or your home, then your smaller system for an offset of production. So
Yeah.
it works all together.
Right.
And you can step into that slowly and then finalize with solar.
That's what they're going to do, is come in and do an energy, like an audit kind of a thing. See what's
Correct.
going on, where they can save you money, because a lot of times you've got your electricity bills are really going up the roof, out the attic, or out the windows. I mean, it's really not just because your air conditioning is running all day.
That is
It's a lot
correct.
more, right?
Yep.
And
So-
you want to pre-program your air conditioner. That's a smart one too.
Tell them how long you've been doing this.
I've been in the Valley since 2011, and I've been doing this since 2009.
They're here to help. That's what they want to do, help lower your bills. Their phone number is 623-688-0663. They're rated with the Better Business Bureau. They are statewide. They are residential and commercial. They're licensed, bonded, and insured. Check them out. It's ADH solar.com.